Hey guys, it's Phil from Aussie Garage. Now today I'm going to slowly start doing my slick space flooring in my garage. Now it's going to take me a lot longer than what Dan did to his because mine's a bigger garage for one, and I can't move and do as much as what he can do in a day, so mine's going to probably take me maybe a week or so to get some of it done, and I'm still probably going to have to get people to come around and help me. I just want to show you some of the stuff that we've got so far. This is the pattern, which I'll put up on the actual video so you can see it a bit better. We have got, mine's going to get done with black, blue and grey. Okay, so this is going to be the grey insert that's going to go in the middle of it underneath the car. Then what I've got is black capping on the, the blue capping along the edge of the front of the driveway. This black is going to do most of the area, and then the other one that we've got to offset that black, which I'm going to have to open up, okay, which is this blue colour. Now, the reason why I picked this colour is simply because of the fact I'm going to paint the car blue. I want it to kind of, like an aqua colour. I thought, well, this would be good because when the car's all done and the panel van's finished, this blue would look nice on it. Now, these things are pretty good, as we've seen by Dan's ones. He's got the flat ones beforehand that he laid in. Now, these ones here are a lot different. These are a bit more of the show rib style ones. Now, the good thing about these ones is if you get crap underneath it or anything like that, you simply just get the hose in here and wash it out outside your garage, and you can get rid of any dust or grime from inside that. So it's quite easy to get rid of all the oil stains and stuff like that. However, saying that, it's still only rated to a certain tonnage. So when it comes to jacks, things like that, I'm going to have to put a bit of board down, jack it up that way, make sure it's all good to go. It's take a while to do this, and like I said, I'm going to have to shuffle things around and do things slowly. What I have done, I haven't moved everything out of the side of the garage at this point in time. I've just moved a bit to the back so I can start doing the front area. And then I'll start moving things over to the different directions so I can do it bit by bit. Unfortunately, I've got no space to store anything that's inside my garage elsewhere because there's just no room at my house. So what I'll do is let's get stuck into it. This slick space flooring is amazing. I love it. It's good. Dan's already got his down and it's made a world of difference to his garage, and I can't wait to do the same to mine. Been a long time coming to get my garage done. Can't wait to get it finished off. Alright, so let's get stuck into it slowly bit by bit. What I'll do is I'll show you bits along the way. Yeah, take our time with it and go from there. Okay, for starters guys, what we're going to need to do this project in here and get it all done is a couple of things. We're going to need a marker so I can mark out the edges, so I can cut the tiles as I need it. And to cut the tiles, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can use a drop saw if you've got one. I don't have one that's decent for that will fit that kind of tile in and stuff like that. However, I have my jigsaw. So this jigsaw will do the trick for me. I'll just mark it out, I'll take my time with it, and I'll cut them slowly bit by bit to fit. The other thing that you're going to need for these, and pretty much the only other thing you're going to need for this, is a little rubber mallet. And this is just to go around, bang the tiles into position and make sure they're okay. So the one thing that we're going to probably have to kind of do first off is the front area. Measure it all out, work out how many tiles I'll need to kind of make it center. Whereas with mine, don't really need to make it too center because my car is off center and the rest of my garage is just purely for tools and for racking. Let's start. All right, everyone, got a little bit done today. Started on this side of the garage, just where my toolbox is. Got a little bit more to do, so then I can push that back into place. But this is the pattern so far, starting to look pretty good. I've just got to get to the middle. Then once I get to the middle, I can then start moving things over from that side over to this side, and then I can keep going backwards and do the same thing again. But we've made a start on it today. I just need to make sure on the other side I've got to leave at least about 10 mil on the other side wall and the gap. Now the reason for that is these do expand a little bit with the heat. So if you don't leave that little gap at the ends, what happens, it pushes the tile up a little bit in the middle. Just be aware of that when you're doing the tiles yourself as well. However, they're really easy to put in, which is good because you can do a fair bit in a small amount of time. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it for today, but look, I'll show you a bit more as we go. So you want to make sure that edge and that edge line up with this edge, because you can only put it one way, so can't really stuff it up really. You just got to make sure that you line up all the holes so you don't bend the little clips that are underneath so they can lock into place. But it's pretty much straightforward. All you just do, line it up pretty much like that. So you've got it into position. And the next one we do the same. Simple as that, guys. It's not really hard. Like, if I can do it, anyone that's in good health can really do it. But just so you know, this pattern here is called the ULTRAGRID. Now the one that Dan put into his place is called the Ultra Tough. So if you go onto Sleep Space website, check it out, you'll see the different patterns. There's loads of different colours. There's greens, there's like dark greens, light like lime greens. Like I said, you've got your grey, blue, black, but then you've got an aqua colour, which is pretty good as well. You've got white, not that I'll put white in the garage. Otherwise, you can create any pattern you want on the floor, and there's a planner that's actually on the Sleep Space website, and that planner will show you exactly how many tiles you need and exactly what pattern and all that. So when you go to do your garage, you just got to make sure you measure it correctly, of course. But when you go to do your garage, you'll see exactly where the tiles are going to go. Like I said, I got that little picture over there, and it tells me exactly how many tiles I got to put into what area, so then I can get that pattern correct on my garage and make sure that I don't stuff it up. It makes life easier for us. Okay.
Let's ride. We in the shed where the wrenches turn. Holden's purr and the tires burn. Fords on slicks looking clean and mean. Reppin' that raw Australian scene. From street to show, from stock to mod. We chat with the folks who treat cars like gods. No showroom shine if it don't have soul. We capture the stories that make them whole. Old Kingswoods with a modern twist.
What I've done is I've just marked out exactly how much I want to cut out of that space, so I can go against the wall, I can sit into that little groove area. But look, these are quite simple with these, so you can just use a jigsaw on them, just take your time with it, get into it, and I'll just take my time. So, stopped up that little bit at the end, but there's a pattern I need. Like I said, this is the bit that I've got cut against the wall here. I might have to make a little bit more adjustment if I haven't quite got it right, but I think I have. I'm just going to line up those grooves here again. Now I probably could have cut a little bit more here just to give myself a bit more clearance, but you know what, I'm okay with that because most of this is going to be hidden for me, so it's not going to be exposed. So I'm not too stressed about it. However, if you're a perfectionist, then you'll cut it the way you want it to make sure it's 100% correct for your standards. But at the end of the day, like once I get this bit here, I can pretty much almost move the toolbox back. I've just got probably one more tile I need to cut, and then I can do this row, bring this this big old toolbox here back into position, pin it against the wall, and then I can start moving things across now that I've done a good chunk of this part of the area, and then I can start moving all that stuff across, and like I said, start doing that side and the back. But yeah, we're getting there, slowly but surely. However, yeah, she's looking good, so I'm happy with how the pattern's coming out. It definitely looks great. I just got to follow that same pattern along there. The only thing that I've either miscalculated or I probably got one too less or delivered to me was the grey pattern here, because that grey pattern was supposed to go all the way up a bit further, and then the blue was supposed to hit and the black along the wall, but obviously I calculated one less square. So I've got one spare grey tile, but I don't have another one to finish it off. So what I did was I just brought the pattern in, and I know I've got a lot more black of the tiles, so I'm happy to do a double layer of black along the back there, because hey, look, no one's going to see it really. Alright guys, just when you're doing the edging, there's a couple of ways you can do the edging. One, you can use a tape measure and measure each section of the wall, mark it on your tile, and then go from there. Otherwise, there's a bit of an easier way of doing it, and I like this way because you can get an accurate reading on the wall, or you don't need geometry to sort it out against the wall with the measurements and things like that. So the easier way of doing this is, one, grab one tile, make sure you line it up on this tile here so it overlaps the one before it. Okay, make sure you get it straight. I like to make sure it's all good lined up like that. Now, then what you do is you get your tile, so you make sure the tile is facing the right way, of course, because you need to make sure when you cut it, you've got the pattern the correct way too. Okay, so then what you do, line that up there against the wall like that. Make sure you've got enough space. Now, the good thing about this is on the wall, I've got these little tabs on this side, which is great because that leaves me about a 5 to 10 mil spacing for expansion, which I like. So I'm going to use that to make it up. On the other side, you've got to allow that because it's flat. Okay, you'll have a flat edge on that side and the tab edge on this side of the garage. What you do is you mark that a line across the back there like that. Okay, then line up the wall on that edge there, so you leave yourself enough room, and then you line up along that line. Okay, and then all you just do is draw a line along this edge here. Okay, and then come across to the other side and you put your tile against this side here, line it up with that edge that you've already done coming upwards. Okay, and then all you just do is mark that across there like that. So what you'll end up with, like this one is a bit of an L shape. I'm going to cut that and I'll be back. I've just gone outside, I've cut that. So I've got my straight edge here and my other straight edge here, which will match up with the pattern of the tile, and this edge will go on the wall. Basically, once you've got all that, it's quite easy. You just put that into position like that. And voila, you've got a fitted tile, hugs the wall. There's not too much bloody thinking about it. It's just pretty much straightforward. So I'll probably do a bit of a short on this as well and put that up so when we do the tiles yourself, you can see what I'm doing and what I've done to make life easier.
Falcon GTs that still don't miss. Burnout comps or Sunday spins. Every rod's got blood and skin. We keep it real, chrome and steel. With that homegrown feel, got the merch you know the site.
Okay everyone, now I've done this edge along the wall here. As you can see, I've still left about 5-10 mil gap along the whole entire edge there. It's all neat and tidy, and I use that method of trimming the tiles on the edges. So I have only got to do the back area of the wall now. It's looking good so far. I'm glad it's working out. As you will see later on, you'll notice that when you're doing this stuff, especially when you trim the edges on the walls, you do lose a lot of tiles. Definitely make sure you measure your walls correctly, because I've still got one wall to go. This box here is pretty much all the offcuts, and like I said, I've still got one more wall to go, which is what, 6.4 meters long. But we'll get stuck back into it again. Hopefully next time I'll be able to show you a finished product and with everything back in place. You know, because there's a lot of weight, and these are overall, they are hardened plastic. They will crack, especially with like a ton on them and things like that. So to disperse that weight and make it a little bit more even, so it's not going to damage the tiles that much at all, what I've done is I've got a bit of 5mm ply and I've cut it into little squares and I've just put it under the feet. So it looks kind of like that. So you'll see I've put all those on those areas. And that's just to stop it from cracking the tile. Okay, so you can do it either way. You can cut around it, so the weight's not on it at all, like I did the first time round. Or you can do it this way, where you disperse the weight by having a bit of ply underneath it, because you're going to have to do that if you're going to jack anyway on this type of floor. It's a bit of a tip for when you do it. But look, we'll keep going. Well everyone, finally got it all done. So the whole flooring is now complete. I've cleaned up all the mess, put most of the stuff back where I want it. Still got, I think I'm going to reorganize a little bit of things on the shelves, but that's about it. However, I think the floor looks good. Everything's in place. Yeah, edges are all nice and squared. You just have to be aware when you're ordering your floor. Make sure you leave enough for cut-off tiles, because I can tell you I have a box full of half tiles, and the only problem is with them, because they only go a certain way, you can't use those on any other part or any other, like a puzzle, and bring them in together unless you don't want them interlocked. Just be mindful of that when you're doing your floor. However, like, looks good. I love it. It's made a mask different to my garage floor now. I'm super happy. I'll let you have a look now. Okay, so here we are. So I've done all the pattern, all the way to the edges there, all down the side, the pattern in the middle there. Pretty much where the grey is, the car's going to park over the top of that. Yeah, so it's all nice and neat. I love the rib kind of styling, gives it that kind of showroom look, even though it's not. And never will be, not in here anyway, because I'm going to pretty much fill it up with a junk again eventually, and when the car comes back in, there'll be a whole bunch of car parts and things like that that come back. But like I said, these are all the cut-off pieces that I have, things like this that are halfway using. Now I've got a little shed at the back, and I've still got a number. I've still got a number of spare tiles spare here. Okay, but I've got about 12 tiles left between the blue, the black and the grey. I'll try and use that at the shed at the back there. I think this looks great. I'm really happy with it. At the end of the day, look, it's a great product. I love it, Australian product. At the end of the day, jump on to the Sleek Base website, and which I'll have the link down below here. Go check it out. Also, I'll put the link up here to the video that Dan did for his garage, because like that was a different style of tile, of course. If you click on there and order through there and give them Aussie garage stuff, well, you'll probably end up getting a discount. Go check that out too. But the other thing I wanted to show you before I do go and wrap up this whole video that we've just done, Now, one of the things that I did get from them too, which I really wanted, because I had nowhere to store half of these tools, was I got this little organizer here. Now this thing is super easy to put together. It's only a couple of screws. It pretty much clips together. I got all the drill bits on the side here. I have got some drill bits missing, of course, because I've broken them over the time. However, I've got all my ROV tools and products on here. My battery chargers and everything at the top with my spare batteries. My die grinder, I've got my jigsaw, and I've got all my impact drills and drills here. This thing is super good to store everything, keep everything nice and neat on the wall, out of the way, because otherwise I'm storing it inside my toolbox. I think that product is really good as far as organisation. So go check that one out as well. I'll put the link down there below as well. One last look and we're done. Everything's nice and neat in here. Super happy with the pattern. Go check out Stokes Base. I recommend it. So easy to install. Like I said, if I can do it with my disability and my brain problem, then any monkey can do it just like me. So go check it out. Thanks guys.
Fords on slicks looking clean and mean, repping that raw Australian scene. From street to show, from stock to mod, we chat with the folks who treat cars like gods. No showroom shine if it don't have soul. We capture the stories that make them whole. Old Kingswoods with a modern twist, Falcon GTs that still don't miss. Burnout comps or Sunday spins, every rod's got blood and skin. We keep it real, chrome and steel.